This is a zombie head that I had sculpted in my last video. To recap how I sculpted it, alright, so hopefully you got all that information, but go watch my other video on how I sculpted this zombie head, but this was the final result I made out of clay. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I finished the sculpture by painting it, and doing a bunch of acrylic washes, and how I added a lot of blood and gore, which you'll see in just a minute. So basically I started off after it was bisque fired. This clay hasn't been fully vitrified, which basically means it hasn't been high fired, cone 5. It's only been low fired, a bisque fire, and we fire our clay to a cone 05. So our kilns only go up to a certain temperature to harden the clay, but not fully vitrify, which means it still absorbs liquid, or like it's still porous, really. So basically I started off with a very watered down, purpley tan skin colored wash. This was just to get down a skin tone and to start coloring or start adding color to the piece. When it's pure white, I was kind of intimidated because I didn't really want to start painting it, but once it was all covered in paint and a wash, I was more comfortable throwing some paint on there, and it really it allowed me to find my colors easier. Also, what this also did was add some shadow. So what I did was I went back in after I'd done the wash, and I had dry brushed on the skin color or around the skin color that I wanted on the piece. So that just created up more shadows and darker tones inside the skin, like in the folds or in a lot of like the texture that I added when I sculpted it. I added a lot of texture with tin foil, and I really messied up the clay, the surface, and textured it a lot. And by doing the wash, the darker color really helped accentuate that texture that I had added. Then I went in next with the blood. This was the fun part. So this project, this head, was specifically for my ceramics class, and it's supposed to be a repulsive piece, so I went with gore. I really wanted this to be a really gross piece, so I looked up a lot of references of zombies, and there's a lot of gross stuff out there, so I kind of went with that, and I added a bunch of blood and a lot of red paint everywhere, and watered it down, and just did a bunch of washes of red, and then I went back in once I was confident with the colors, and I really went hard on this blood and gore. So where the head was ripped open and you could see the skull, that's why I added a lot of blood, and then I added a lot of dark red paint in some areas that I really wanted to accentuate. And then underneath the eyes, I did the same too. Kind of like the eye was like falling out of its eye socket and being ripped open. Same with the mouth. The mouth was really gory too. I had a lot of blood in there too. When I did the teeth and the skull, I dabbed on the paint, so it was like a really tan color. And then I watered it down a little bit, painted the teeth, and then scratched some away or like rubbed some away. And then to make this piece really pop, I added a lot of nail polish. So the nail polish, the clear nail polish, really made everything shiny and bloody finish. And so I really like what this did to the red blood, and it really looks like blood now. It's not like a matte color like the skin would be. I glossed up the eyes, the lips, and the mouth, and that was the final touches to the painting sculpture. I really had a fun time painting this one. It wasn't too hard just because I was able to go messy with it and add a bunch of blood and texture. And the nail polish, I think, really finished it off with the yellowing eyes and the gory teeth and blood. I like it. I think it's cool. When I showed my class, they really didn't like it because it was uncomfortable looking, which I can see how that's true. It's very uncomfortable. But I think it'll be a pretty cool piece, and it's actually going in my gallery at school. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.